What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Season Gaming Bitcast, episode 55. Ainsley Bowden, Dan Rodriguez. You might notice we're missing a Bert Signs. We've lost him. We don't know where the hell he is. No, of course I'm kidding. He is internationally traveling for work, so this could be a slightly different episode. As you can see, you've got us together here, and it's just going to be Dan and I chatting through the news of the week, some of the things we've been playing. We're going to touch on some of the upcoming news and things that are starting to boil out of E3. And then we will be back together next week for Bitcast 56. But for now, let's talk about the big news that came out. Well, not came out, but that started last night with Days Gone reviews.
Yeah.
So Days Gone, we've been talking about for a while. Obviously, the next kind of Sony first-party game. It's been shown for years and years, in development for a very long time, 5 years plus. And I think because it's Sony first party, right, everyone kind of had this high expectation. I don't think anyone thought it was going to be a God of War type title or Horizon, but they did have rather high expectations, and turns out those have been broken quite a bit. So coming in right now, pretty much lower on the scale, and neither of us have actually played it yet. No. So we're recording a little early this week. We're actually recording on Friday, so the game officially came out today. And I'm actually going to, I'm not reviewing it. I think you're going to do that for us, right?
Sure.
And so with that said, I'm taking a little break because I'm playing Mortal Kombat, which we'll talk about. But, what do you think about this whole debacle that has unfolded because it's a PS4 exclusive and not getting rated so great? So now you've got this huge conversation that has come up.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, it shouldn't even be a conversation at this point. You know, that's all stuff made up through Twitter, through the console wars, stuff that we normally don't touch on. You see this kind of conversation come up when, Xbox releases games or there's an exclusive for Microsoft.
Yeah.
But you don't see it a lot for PlayStation. And that's, because normally they put out quality products. They usually put out really, really good games. And apparently this isn't one of them, according to the reviews. And, some people say it's just about you having fun playing the game. The reviews are still, a good scale to at least use to, maybe make a decision whether or not you're going to pick it up right now.
Yeah.
Maybe you're not going to pick it up, you'll pick it up a little bit later. Obviously, play the game, decide if you like it or not. Yeah, there looks to be problems. They've also put a pretty decent sized patch. I think they
multiple already. I think.
Yeah, they might have. Yeah, so it might. Who knows? By the time I get to it today, when it releases, it might be a completely different game. I don't know. I'm gonna try it out and play it. It seems like it's right up my alley as far as like an open world. Kind of being able to do. It's a third person shooter. I just hope it keeps my interest. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
You got to kind of kick it right off and. It needs to kind of grab you right out of the box and see how it is. But I'm excited to try it out for sure.
I think we were talking about that on Third Wheel last night is, the annoying thing is that we've heard from people who have finished it now that the world is beautiful and the concept is good, but the acting isn't strong, the characters aren't strong, and there's really nothing in the world that's grabs you.
Right.
That really keeps you playing. So I guess we'll see.
Yep.
We'll wait to hear from you. I'm not going to touch it for a little while yet. I've got plenty to play, and I really want to stay on Mortal. So... but I do just have to call out because I've watched a lot of footage of the game, but we saw that clip earlier I sent you guys of this 30-second clip of Deacon speaking to someone. The voice acting and animation looks really poor. I was actually kind of surprised at how poor it looked. Not that should bring the game down to a not playable, because we've seen bad voice acting and animations in tons of games that are decent.
For sure.
But that kind of threw me for a loop. You just don't expect to see that out of Sony first party, like you said.
No.
So anyway, we'll see. So more to come on Days Gone. I can't remember. I think Bert's waiting on it too, actually. So you may be the only one talking about it for us for a little while. So we've got some... I wouldn't call it bad news, but disappointing news maybe out of Respawn. So, Jedi Fallen Order, kind of everyone got pumped for that when they showed it a couple weeks ago at the Disney thing. And knowing that Respawn is only so big, and they have a team working on Apex, and they have a team working on Respawn, on Jedi Fallen Order. And so what that means, of course, they announced formally yesterday, is that development's ramping up on Apex Legends. But that means future development on Titanfall games is on hold. And that's really the news that no one wanted to hear, because not just a month or two ago, A month or two ago, they said that there's more Titanfall coming later this year. They
Yeah.
actually said so. I don't know how we went from later this year, when we're nearly halfway through the year, to it's on hold.
Yeah, it's completely scrapped.
So this sucks. I like Apex Legends. Dan's obviously #1 fan. Um, if you haven't watched that backseat episode.
Oh, yeah.
But Apex Legends is not a Titanfall replacement, not in a multiplayer sense and not in a campaign sense, obviously. So, I don't know. Disappointed here.
Yeah, I mean, I understand why they're doing
Yeah,
it.
you only have so many people. I mean,
Right. I'm curious to see, how Apex, goes. If they're gonna give up on Titanfall 3, and not give up maybe, but put it on the back burner and then focus more on Apex Legends. It just seems like, it hit and people are still playing it,
Yeah.
but it just seems like I don't hear as much about it anymore.
Yeah.
And that's just through social media. I'm sure people are still playing it. I'm sure there's tons of concurrent players. But it's not like Fortnite, which you're still hearing stuff about, 30 years later, now they've got Avenger stuff out. I'm not a big Battle Royale fan anyway. I really, really wanted a Titanfall 3.
Yeah.
Because I love that game. I love the single player campaign. I actually enjoyed some of the multiplayer. I wasn't good at it, obviously, but that's nothing, strange. That's actually pretty commonplace on any multiplayer game. But I'm a little bit disappointed in this. But, for Apex Legends players, I guess good for you.
Yeah, and I'm one. Like
Yeah.
Bert and I, especially, we played a lot. We've talked about that, but it is still disappointing. They did announce that season 2 of Apex Legends will be shown at EA Play in June at E3. So we'll see what that looks like. But I think the big thing is, if you're not going to do Titanfall, what Apex fans have been calling for is, where's the content? Fortnite is content just nonstop. They're always adding
Nonstop.
stuff. All they've done with Apex so far is add the one character, which obviously was probably already designed, and the battle pass.
Yeah.
But it's been out for a couple months now. It's like, you guys, if you want to keep this thing going, you've got to step it up. So maybe that's what they're doing.
Yeah, it could be just a thing where Epic has so much money, and it's just they're able to turn out that content. But we did hear this week also
They're
they're overworking their people. Well, that doesn't surprise me one bit with the amount of content coming out. I'm not sure why they just don't hire more people and just throw bodies at it. I mean, I know that was mentioned in that was the Polygon article.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's I don't know.
You would think when you're making billions,
right,
you could solve that problem.
Yeah.
People shouldn't be overworked when you're making $3 billion a
Well,
year.
then you don't get that other Porsche. I guess, Sweeney. I'm looking at you, you bastard.
All right. So speaking of billions, financial reports for fiscal year third quarter came out this week for all the big players, so including Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo. And it's funny because I think, 3 months ago we were talking about this, and all three were profitable, all three were growing, all three successful, and we're seeing the exact same thing again. Sony is crushing it, as we all know, right? Console sales are good. PlayStation Now is up to is continuing to grow, which still kind of surprises me. I'm not a big fan of PlayStation Now, but regardless, and their profits are through the roof. Xbox year-over-year growth, live year-over-year growth, digital sales up. More importantly, for the longer-term future, and we'll talk about this more in the future, obviously, is that their Microsoft's bigger divisions like cloud architecture and gaming, and those things are growing exponentially. So that's impressive because that's where they're headed. And then Switch, I wanted to talk on the Switch real quick, is that they're the fastest selling console this year. They were the best selling console in the first quarter, which obviously goes hand in hand, right? It is the most profitable year, 2019 fiscal year, not 2019 year to date, but for Nintendo since 2009 with the Wii. That's how good the Switch is doing. You remember how Wii fever was ridiculous, right? The Wii was
crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it was one of those cultural phenomenons at one point, right? But yeah, and then they also announced that they still have Luigi's Mansion 3 and Animal Crossing coming this year, along with Pokemon, which we know is coming, and a whole bunch of other titles. So whether or not you like those titles or not personally is irrelevant. I won't play Animal Crossing. It doesn't matter. It's going to sell by the bucket load.
It's going to be crazy.
So if you imagine the Switch, I think we speculated coming into this year that we didn't know what the Switch was going to do, right? We were like, it may dip down again because it's kind of been ebb and flow, but it's just gone. It's taken off.
Yeah. You know what it is? Labo. You think I'm fucking joking? I went to 3 GameStops the other day, and they were all sold out of the VR.
People want that VR
It's
kit.
crazy, and it's just like I've never seen anything like it. I could have made you one, and you could have done it. Just brought me some boxes. I still don't understand the whole thing with the Labo, but they can do no wrong. I mean, they can do no wrong, and Nintendo just continues to just chug along and like smoke that cigar while sipping on that $1,000 a glass whiskey and just laughing at people. They're just like, look at me, yeah. No, I mean it's crazy. I mean, I play my Switch a little bit more than I thought I would. I mean, I always thought I played, but there's I like to play my indie games on it. They keep releasing ports. That I keep buying for some reason. So
everyone does. That's the point.
It's crazy. And so, but you know what? I still like it for that portability. I really do. I mean, that's a huge market that's just nobody has.
Yeah.
Sony gave up on their their Vita.
Let's not talk about that, please.
Yeah, it's sad, but I never even had one. I wish I did. But and then Xbox, they're going towards the cloud streaming, right?
Yeah.
So they're not even worried about even putting another peripheral out there. It's just going to be your phone and or your Surface or whatever the heck you have. And so I like right now they've got that market cornered.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, absolutely.
So that's a big part of it. With summer coming up, people are going to be going on trips. Maybe they buy a Switch for their kids.
Me included. I've got like 5 trips coming up, and I'm already thinking, what can I put on my Switch to take with it?
Right. I had to go to a wedding the other day, and I didn't want to talk to anybody, so I brought my Switch. And so it's got that.
So kind of opposite of that initial ad where you set it up and everyone comes around. You're more like in a corner.
Yeah, please leave me alone and take your red tuxedo and do something crazy with it and give me some hors d'oeuvres. So, that's a whole inside joke. Sorry.
Yeah, those pictures were unique.
They were unique.
You're right though. We've joked about it before. Whatever they do, for the most part, in this generation so far with the Switch, seems to be just gold. The exact opposite of the Wii U, because the Wii U was just no one gave a shit.
Right.
The Switch is the direct opposite. So it's impressive. It's past the N64.
Yeah.
I think most people think the N64 was this huge success. It's a very fondly remembered system. It didn't sell well.
It's that damn controller.
It only sold like 34, 36 million copies, and my dog is going to join the Bitcast as our third member here, so we'll figure that one out.
We'll just dub Bert's voice over
Bruce. Yeah. Bruce, Bert, they sound alike, right?
Yeah, it's almost close.
All right.
Well, another thing, I mean, then they've got the possibly the Switch Mini coming out this year, right? It's what the rumor is anyway. I mean,
it's weird because we've seen some substantial rumors that the Switch Mini's coming and that the more advanced Switch is coming. Right. But then the Nintendo president came out, I want to say Wednesday, and said we're not working on new hardware. Or something I forget the quote. If I'm messing it up, guys, I'm sorry. But he did comment on the hardware rumors and saying that they're not launching anything new in the foreseeable time frame. So
I don't believe him. His name's Bowser.
Bowser, you can't be trusted.
He's no Reggie. He has to earn my trust.
I wonder what Reggie's doing right now. Is he just sitting on a beach playing a Switch somewhere?
Yeah, exactly.
With a Mario hat on?
Right. Surrounded by tons and tons of cigars and whiskey. That's what I'll say. It's fantastic.
All right. So anyway, guys, just closing out saying that, like we always talk about here, all 3 platforms are doing well. All 3 are profitable. All 3 deserve support for different reasons. We don't deal with the nonsense between the 3 here, so we're going to move on to BioWare. Speaking of nonsense, sadly, I know this pains both of us. Bert doesn't care, so this is going to be like the 2 of us where we're like
laughing at us.
Yeah, I know. Mm-hmm. So BioWare, Ben Irving and Chad Robertson, if I'm going off memory here. So lead producer and head of live services. Oh, I'm surprised I remembered all that.
I have no idea.
From BioWare released a statement this week. All of us, all Anthem players, have been kind of wondering what the hell's been going on because they've been quiet for weeks. The community manager came out today and he apologized for being quiet, which was a very bizarre thing on Twitter. I don't know if you saw that. Mm-hmm. Long story short, they released an update, which was not really an update. They said, we have a new stronghold, we're working behind the scenes, and we're putting the entire roadmap for the game on hold. So the reason I felt this came off really poorly is, one, they haven't said anything in a while. So when they do say something, you expect some meaningful information. Here's what we're doing. Here's some dates, what we're targeting. Here's what you can expect. They didn't do any of that. All they came in and said everything that we did have dates for is stopped. We're not. That's on hold. Here's a stronghold, and no, we're working on the game. Terrible way to communicate back to your fans. Just very frustrating. We've talked about Anthem at length. This did not reassure me at all. And as we reported on the site, no matter where you are, Reddit, social media, because they put this on Reddit, fans went off.
Yeah.
They basically gave it to them.
Yeah, well, that's what do you expect? I mean, you know, especially when you see other quality games in the same genre releasing a week or two after, and just destroying stuff with not only content, but also updates. My favorite updates from the Division devs, this is what I'm talking about, are the ones where they're like, yeah, we thought about this. We appreciate your input, but you're probably wrong. So, like, they're that good. They're so good that they know better than us. Go figure.
They should.
They should know better, and they do. And you were like, oh, you know what? You're right. You know, and we're just going to suckle at the teat of the Division devs.
And they have a weekly, like, 2-hour stream where they get into details. Right. They know what people want. That's your point. They talk about it. They communicate on the site.
Right. So at this point, just, you know, shut up. Get it all done. Go all No Man's Sky on this game.
Yeah.
And then 6 months from now, because you shouldn't take you as long as those devs did, because you've got the money.
No Man's Sky has a team of 12 people.
You're right. Right? You know, I mean, I know it sucks to work at BioWare, you know, but, you know, apparently they had their big meeting with Casey Hudson that said, hey, you know, we're going to change the whole outlook at our studio. I don't give a crap. Here's the thing. All right. You've got money. You've got the talent, I hope. It hasn't left. Get in there and just do something. And don't say anything. You know, I don't even care. You know, just come back in 6 months, you know, say even December next year. Or take a year. I don't care what you do. I want a good game because the core of that game is one of the most fun games I've ever played. The core gameplay.
Yeah, there's a foundation.
There's a foundation for something really, really good. You know, regardless of the story. Even if it was, you know, because I'm the Division story. I mean,
that was the weaker part of the game.
So I don't care. Just take your time and get it right. Don't come out and apologize every 2 weeks because you didn't get anything done this week. I don't want to hear that crap. Just come out here and just wow us in 6 months. Just shut up. Go on like a whole.
Tell us what you're doing and go do it.
Yeah, that's it. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna make it awesome. That's how you gotta say. We'll be back in 6 months, and hopefully they'll have something. But they're just gonna keep coming out and apologize. I just really can't care, you know, because it wouldn't be that much. It wouldn't take too much to bring me back into that game to try it out. No, but not one stronghold. That's not gonna do it. And a couple other little tweaks that I can do stuff that I should have been able to do first, you know, when the game launched. So
they came out and got excited about, well, now you can put your items on without going back to, I don't even remember what the place is called anymore.
Fort Tarsus,
thank you. And I'm like, really? That 6 weeks
post-launch? It's not even the new ones. Like, if you find one, you still can't put it on. You have to go back and discover it, and then you can put it on. So anything that you have going into it, you can do. But all the other stuff still has to be discoverable. So, like, you can't just pick up hey, that gun's better. I'm going to switch it out real quick.
No, I see. You have to finish that mission where it shows you what you got.
You can basically change your whatever loadout on it if you need to on the fly now, basically. That's all it is. But yeah, you still have to discover, because you still pick up those stupid little gems. Yeah. And you don't know what they are.
Who said... Yeah. Not saying I said it from the start, but I did. That they copied that Destiny model where the little gem comes and you don't know what you get, and that drove me nuts. Like, show me what I'm getting.
Yep, I'm with you.
Anyway, you can tell we're a little frustrated with Anthem, but we've talked about that extensively. I'm just shocked that BioWare didn't come up with something better than a written update from two guys that really had nothing in it after all this time. I mean, I communicate to broad groups from my job. That's part of my career. There's no way I would have been comfortable posting or sending that after this time.
No.
You know what people's expectations are. Like, come on. Anyway, and nothing's less disappointing, but in better news, Persona 5, one of our favorite JRPGs, They are doing kind of the golden treatment with it. It's going to be called Persona 5 Royal, and it is launching in Japan later this year. I believe it was October, late October, if I'm going off memory here. And they announced that it's coming to the West next year. So next year we'll get this updated Persona 5. It's going to have new characters, new missions, new dialogue, new options. Again, very similar to the golden treatment, where it's like the definitive edition of Persona 5. With this, of course, we thought the rumors were that Persona 5 was headed to the Switch, and sure, they threw us for a loop on this one because Persona is coming to the Switch, but it's not Persona 5 as is, or Persona 5 Royal. It's Persona 5 Scramble, which is an offshoot of Persona being developed in coordination with the Dynasty Warriors team, Koei Tecmo. Kind of bizarre on this one. Kind of looked at the footage real briefly. It didn't interest me at all because it's not really what I think of Persona. Persona is that deep character Japanese role-playing game, that has this very unique, very unique play style. And Scramble just looks to be something completely different.
Yeah, I've never seen either one of them.
So, you played Persona 5, you said,
I
for like
Persona
4 minutes?
Maybe I got lost in the subway system. Then I got to a part and I looked at it and I was like, I don't know what the hell's happening. This is even too crazy.
That game requires a lot of attention.
A lot of attention.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, this is kind of cool. I love the art style. I love a lot of things about it. But man, you gotta I don't know. I didn't even get into any kind of action. And when I did, I was like, I'm out because I didn't even try. I mean, the only action I got was like the tutorial part where you kind of go through and you fight a couple guys, and then when I actually got to fight somebody else, I quit. I didn't even get into the fight. It was like, oh, this is too hard. I just was like, what is this? This is ridiculous. I mean, it's just crazy. I mean, I don't even... Listen, Persona 5 fans, great. I'm sure it's a great game. I love JRPGs. That game, a little bit out there for me. Now, Dynasty Warriors, meh.
So maybe this will be more up your alley?
Maybe it might be more up my alley. I have to actually check it out. We'll see. Maybe that's how it brings me back into Persona 5. I doubt it.
It's got great characters. I mean, that's one of the biggest things about Persona 5 is the character base. So we'll see.
Yeah.
All right. So what have you been currently playing outside of stuff we talked about?
Outside of Division 2. So I got Ace Combat 7.
Yeah.
Played some of that. It's actually pretty cool.
Got rated well.
Yeah. I mean, it's not anything crazy, like spectacular, but it's fun because you don't get a lot of flight sims. On the consoles.
Oh, they're rare nowadays.
Yeah, very, very rare. I yearn for the days of like X-Wing versus TIE Fighter and stuff, but that will never happen. I guess Battlefield is kind of that, but it's not the same. Battlefront, that's what I meant. It's fun. It's. I thought it'd be a little bit prettier. It's not. It's more arcadey than I thought. It's a lot less simulation, which is fine. Inverted controls right off the bat. They know how to do it.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, they don't even give you. They give you the option, but right off the bat you're inverted.
They shouldn't even give you the option. Let's get everyone back on track here. I don't know how we got off track.
I don't know what happened. Somewhere in the 2000s, things just went to hell. So I've been playing that. Been playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey's DLC.
I've heard it's really good.
It's really good so far. I just got to the second episode. And
it's long.
It's pretty damn long. That first episode, I was like, man, I'm still going.
I heard great guys say it took them like 11 hours.
That wouldn't surprise me. Wouldn't surprise, because I didn't even touch on some of the side quests yet. There's not only the main quest through it, but there's probably 7 or 8 little side quests you can do. So there's tons of content in this little tiny packet. And now they got the new one came out. The first episode did, the Fate of Atlantis, I think. I'm going to wait till, obviously, those all come out as well and try to play through those all at one time. Because I don't like playing this episodic stuff anymore. That and The Messenger on Switch.
Yep.
MLB some more. I
was very tempted to pick up MLB.
Dude, I'm telling you, man. If you like baseball,
well, the funny thing is, like,
good.
I grew up liking baseball. I don't like it anymore, but I like baseball games.
Yeah.
And
it's so good.
Just what you've told me about it, it sounds like everyone's saying this is the year where they finally kind of took that next step.
Yeah, they did. And I kind of skipped last year a little bit. I got it, but I never played it too much. This one seems like if you just go from 17 to 19, huge steps forward.
Nice.
And it's fun and enjoyable, even though I play for the Yankees. And then I started Bloodborne.
Yes.
And I got past the wolf, and I figured out how to get out.
So for our listeners and viewers here, watch the table of the mic.
Damn it, Mike. Anyway,
the wolf he means
is the first thing you
It's
come
the one
to.
in the intro. We're
Yes.
not talking about a specific boss here. We're
No.
talking about the intro when you wake up on the bed.
Yep. You wake up, then there's a wolf. It's like half health, so it's not even like full health.
Although, wait, now you did leave the clinic and go back and fight the wolf.
Well, I got out of the bed.
Yeah.
I walked around.
Yeah.
There was a wolf.
Yeah.
So I went.
But you're not
punched
supposed
it.
to beat him then.
Right.
Yeah,
okay,
you
so I
died.
figured I died.
Yeah.
Right. So the first time I actually played this, maybe a year ago, I was in the Garden of Death or whatever this place is, and I walked around there for probably 30 minutes trying to figure out how to get back inside to kill said wolf, and I couldn't, so I stopped playing. So, yeah, I felt like, one of those reviewers that couldn't jump in Cuphead. That was
God,
me.
that video.
Right? So that's
That
me.
video haunts me.
But now, the second time I started over, and I think what happened was there's a gravestone that gets you back into the...
Yeah.
Right. As soon as... I didn't see that last time. Because a pop-up came up and says, hey, go back into the house. I'm like, well, that would have been helpful. Because I would have just done that. So I was like, okay, well, I'm going to run around, try to get all the, little information things that pop up and stuff.
That's like tutorial stuff.
But I knew where I had to go.
Yeah.
Jumped back in, hit the wolf a few times, got killed again, came back. It probably took me 3 or 4 times, to be honest. Finally got past him, and then I was doing pretty good, actually. I was like, okay, this is huge. I have no idea what I'm doing. And then I met 4 guys at once. I was doing all right one-on-one.
Yeah. You never want to fight a group in those games. You want to tether them one by one.
Right. That was my problem. I did not know what that was, and I ran right into the 4 of them, and they destroyed me fast, and I haven't gotten back to it. So, but I'm planning on trying it out some more, probably after Days Gone, because it seems like one of them that I would really enjoy. Even though it's hard, I might actually sink some time into it and see what comes up with it. Yeah, I mean, it looks good.
It's awesome. Yeah. I'm just mad we talked about this before, they never updated for the Pro, which I can't believe.
Yeah, it's weird to me.
It's got that boost mode thing, so the frame rate's stable.
Mm-hmm.
But unbelievable that's one of their best, got it right here, right behind you. That's one of their best IPs, and one of the, I don't know, I think up there probably From's best game. I think it is. But it's a shame they never updated for the Pro. But yeah, you're the first actual boss. The wolf's not a boss. I won't scare you. But the first actual boss is actually not far into the game. So you go down kind of the street there, and you see the hunters and stuff, and you go through just a couple buildings, and there he is on a bridge. So get to him, and
I'll get to him, and we'll
stream
talk.
it.
Yeah. That'll be a 45-minute episode at least.
Anyway, I've been playing. So I started Vampire based on Bert's recommendation last week while I was just looking for something else to play, and I'm actually liking it quite a bit. It's interesting. It's a lot deeper than I thought it was going to be. There's a lot of menu systems. There's conversational things like a Mass Effect, where you speak to someone, you can choose what you say, and you uncover and build the relationship with them, and it ties to the community, kind of like the what game am I thinking of? I don't know. It slipped my mind. But you basically work, and speak to all these people and untie ties, and you go out and do missions, and obviously fight vampires and whatnot.
Vampires.
But I like it. It's got cool voice acting, really cool setting, obviously in England, in the early 20th century, and it surprised me. So cool to get to that due to Game Pass, finally. But really, mostly I've been playing Mortal Kombat. I'm a big MK guy. We talked about that leading in. This is very, very good. So 2 things I just want to say. Don't believe the whole microtransaction thing. That's not how it works. It's just not. However, there is a grind. It is kind of an annoying grind to unlock things. Now, you don't need any of the unlockables to do anything. You can play the whole story mode. You can play online. Nothing's locked. But if you want, the special character costumes or whatever, you do have to grind a bit. Now, they're releasing an update beginning of next week. WB Games confirmed last night that's going to reduce some of the grind, and they're giving this huge gift to players with tons of currency and whatnot, so you can just get a huge jump on it. So but the game itself, the core game, it's absolutely stunningly gorgeous. Some of the best HDR I have seen. The lighting and the detail on things, especially on the One X, they confirmed Digital Foundry came out, runs up to 4K. The cutscenes are native 4K, and it's just stunning. Locked frame rate, super smooth, and the combat itself, both the story mode so far, the character selection, and the combat, I prefer over MKX. So if you're an MK fan, especially if you love 9, I think this is more in line with 9 than it is MKX. So I'm digging the hell out of it.
It looks awesome. You were playing like all the
Yeah, I was playing the AI
Yeah.
battles when Dan came over earlier today.
Yeah.
So
it looks badass.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just suck at it. So
I haven't gone online
There's a
yet.
theme going on here, people. I mostly suck at video games, but I still love playing them.
I broke out the old MK arcade stick and hooked that up, and I'm a diehard competitive guy, as we've talked about. And
I think
so,
it's bigger than my room.
oh, it's huge. Yeah, it's
humongous.
awesome. But I haven't gone online yet because I know I'm just going to get crushed. Those games, you have to put the time in. And that's part of why I'm kind of sleeping on Days Gone for a bit. If Days Gone was a blockbuster,
Right.
you know, everyone agreed it was like Game of the Year material, I'd be on it. But if it's a little, you know, whatever it is, I'll wait on it and just play some MK. So that's what I'm working on right now. And then we were talking with Alden last night, and he just raved, I don't know how long of a spiel that was. It was a long spiel.
It was long. It was long, but he loves the game.
Yeah, which
the
is
guy
great.
loves it.
So talking about Hollow Knight. So Hollow Knight, obviously very popular game, rated extremely well. Sequel coming later this year or next year. I can't remember exactly when. I bought it on PS4 a little while ago and for like $6.
Yeah, it was
it's like super sale, which is
Super
why I
sale.
bought it. And I need to get back to that as well. So that's what I'm working on. But anyway, let's talk about some things that have kind of come up this week around E3. Now, we're not going to really jump into our E3 coverage just yet. It's a little early, and obviously we wouldn't do that without Bert. But I did want to just talk, first and foremost, Bert and I are going to fucking FanFest.
Woo! Yep.
Unbelievable. So we were FanFest invites. If you don't know what FanFest is and you're listening to this, it is the Xbox specific just FanFest. I mean, it's pretty named appropriately, right? That is occurring at E3. So essentially what happens is you get to go to the E3, the Xbox briefing early. You get to go a few hours early, hang out, meet everyone, get to play games and meet all the other FanFest people. Then you get priority seating at the actual Xbox conference. But the following night is the big thing. The following night, on that Monday night, you actually get a 5-hour meet and greet and dinner and drinks and get to play all the games that haven't come out yet, like Gears 5, probably looks at Halo and whatever else they're going to show, right? We don't really know yet. But meet all the Xbox team and execs, you know, Phil Spencer, Major Nelson, Aaron Greenberg, all those guys. So only 700 tickets get given out, so it's super rare because, as you can imagine, tens of thousands of people enter. And Bert actually got one. I did not get one. I would need to be clear because I said I was going. I got multiple DMs last night saying, "Can I be your +1?"
Wow.
And I'm like, I am the +1.
Yeah. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, so you get to take a guest. Bert called me. He called me while we were recording, and I didn't see it last night. Because remember,
because we were talking about it.
Yeah, we were joking. I was like, if I get in, I'm going to say it, right?
Yeah.
But he called me, and I'm like, why'd you call me? So I call him back, and I was like, what'd you call for? He's like, you didn't see it? I'm like, what? And so then he sent me the picture that he got the ticket. And so we're all.
I can imagine his reaction. It was probably like.
He said he ran. He said he saw it, and he said he kind of paused for a minute, and then he said he ran up the stairs screaming.
That I would have loved to have seen.
I know. So,
oh my gosh,
his wife was probably like, "What in the hell?"
Just like, ah!
And he said he immediately called me, but I didn't answer because we were recording our other show. So
that's great. No, I'm excited for you guys. That's gonna be so awesome. You know,
be cool.
Kind of rub shoulders with the Xbox P3.
Yeah,
Love that guy.
and it's not, not that we're like specific Xbox.
Right.
This is just one of those things that Xbox team does that's very cool. It would be like if we went to PSX one year. I was super pumped for that.
Love to go to that too.
So this is just going to be a lot of fun, and of course it means we'll cover the Xbox briefing live. We're going to do live reaction like we did last year, and then we're working out. I'm speaking to some of the other companies trying to get in. We'll be at EA Play. Possibly Bethesda and some other ones as well. So
I think they started sending out emails.
Yeah, I saw one today. Yeah, so I've got a few contacts through Season Gaming that I've sent notes off to, so we'll see. But as always, you can expect good coverage from us, and we'll start talking more about it. But just thinking about E3, we think about, some of the things we've talked about in terms of, for Xbox, you've obviously got Halo Infinite. Gears 5 is going to be the focus. I can tell you that now because Gears 5 launches this year. But there's, Ninja Theory's new project that we heard about, probably going to be shown. Playground, will they show what is
Fable,
likely
maybe?
Fable is what we're hoping, right, this year. Cyberpunk has confirmed. CD Projekt Red said they're going to be at E3.
Right.
Well, we're not seeing anything from Sony. I almost said Last of Us 2. God damn it, Sony, what are you doing?
Killing me, man.
But then you got Ubisoft. You got Skull and Bones. You got future plans for Division 2, obviously. Splinter Cell.
Right. That's the one that I want so bad. I actually started another game I've been playing. I started up. I never played Double Agent, so when it got kind of the
backwards compatibility.
Yeah, right. I've never. That's one of them I haven't played, and I was like, I got to try it out. I kind of booted it up. It looks actually decent.
I've heard the enhancements are pretty solid.
Yeah, it's pretty good. But that one, I'd be done. That's all I really need. All this other stuff is kind of gravy on top of the mashed potatoes that is Splinter Cell and Sam Fisher. And all the thing about it is there's always been all these rumors. That
Years
they're working
now.
on it. Yeah, even Ubisoft has kind of said, we're not done with them yet.
Yep.
And then Michael Ironside makes an appearance in Wildlands.
And he made an appearance on. It's been a couple episodes now, but several months ago on Inside Xbox.
Yeah.
He showed up out of nowhere,
That's
and
right.
Remember that? And he was
talking. You need to get him before he dies. And I keep hitting this table.
Stop hitting the table.
Yes.
But yeah, he was talking about he can be he's really the true Sam Fisher,
Yeah,
which everyone agrees.
Yeah, they used somebody else in what was it?
But
which one was it? They
the last one, Blacklist.
It was a Blacklist, yeah.
Okay,
that's
Bert would
garbage.
know. He's bigger into that than I am. But yeah, I mean I don't think that he was on Inside Xbox talking about Sam Fisher and Splinter Cell for no reason, right? They wouldn't do that.
Yeah. Just do it, people.
Yeah, I have to imagine Ubisoft's bringing that.
And they're gonna have and for Xbox, it's huge to have that platform. I mean, because
and third party has nowhere else to go this year.
Nowhere. They're gonna probably be all over their junk.
Yeah.
They're probably just calling them, just like, dude, get me in. All I need is 3 minutes.
Yep.
And it's crazy.
I bet you that's why.
It's gonna be a 4-hour show.
The rumors are that it's going to be like last year was an hour and a half.
Yeah, you're gonna be.
They're saying that it could push 2 hours.
It's gonna make Avengers Endgame look short.
And Bert and I are going to be in like row 3 or 10 or something.
Crazy.
It's going to be awesome.
You're going to be able to smell them. That's how close you're going to be.
I was joking because last year I was at the Xbox conference, but I was in they broke up all these different lines to get in, and I got effed. And then I got the last line to get in. So like I was running in as they were starting, and I sat in the back, and it was like literally me and one other dude who was like pumped.
Yeah.
The people at the back were just sitting there like this. I'm like, what kind of boring person are you to be at E3 at the Xbox conference live and to just sit there completely silent?
Well, you could tell that from home too. I mean, when they were doing the stuff, I was just like, why aren't people yelling?
I was actually mad.
I mean, I understand Gears pop, but I don't understand like everything else. I was just like, what? I mean, it just seemed like so subdued. All right. I mean, but this is it. So this is the only, I mean, I'm sure Nintendo will have some kind of presence.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
They will. But they do a different like they normally do.
Right. I'd like to see some stuff out of the Metroid Prime trilogy, please. But
so we'll talk about that in a second.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
But yeah, it's just this is it for big third party new releases. Even I mean that's the fun part. Even sitting at home, you're just sitting there like, yes, yes, this is coming out. What is this? I don't even know what this is. So I mean, there's so much. E3 is looks like such a blast, and it's a
You're going next
time.
year, goddammit.
I'm going next year. I've already
No
told my wife. Yeah, she's going with her family to a yurt in Utah, so I will be at E3 next year at this time because that ain't happening for Dan.
Yurtcast, episode 55.
Yurtcast, yep. I'm gonna be like I'm gonna be like 100 pounds, like just totally dehydrated with like my Switch in my hands, like shaking like this.
Looking for an outlet.
I wanted to go to E3, damn it. No, it's gonna be terrible. It's gonna be so bad. But yeah, I'm going to E3 next year.
Yes,
for sure.
yes. So on Nintendo, well, first let's move on. So Ubisoft, Splinter Cell, Square Enix has confirmed. So basically the only Bert's back.
Bert. Whoa, he is flexing. He does some yoga poses.
The only two companies that actually aren't doing E3 traditionally are Sony.
Yeah.
And EA said they're not holding a conference, but they're still going to do an E3 presentation.
Like their video?
Yeah, they're just not doing a live stage conference.
Last year? Did they even do a live stage? I thought
they did. They did that weird stage thing where they had people playing games at the same time. You remember that?
Yeah.
So, but anyway, they're the only two. Everyone else is going. So Ubisoft confirmed, Square Enix confirmed. Square Enix is actually taking Sony's slot. Monday night at 6 p.m. was Sony's traditional slot. Square Enix is jumping in their grave.
Possibly have.
So
That's
that's the
insane.
thing. There's only a couple things I could think of. Was we talked about it last year and we didn't see it, the Avengers game,
Right.
which makes sense with Endgame.
I'm ready for that right
Well,
now.
why would you not do that?
Hmm.
Um,
They're not doing the new one for the Switch, are they? The
no,
Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3? That's not them, is it?
I don't
I
think
don't
it
think it
is.
is.
No, I
Yeah.
don't remember who's doing that. I think it's a smaller studio doing
Yeah.
that one.
I'm
But
ready
yeah,
for the Avengers
the
game for
Avengers
sure.
title. I don't think we're going to see any new Tomb Raider yet. It's too early.
Final Fantasy 7?
That's the other rumor, right?
Remake, really? Come
Final
on.
Fantasy 7 with a 2028 release date.
Yeah. It'll be like you're just standing next to him at that point.
I am Cloud.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
So yeah, it's going to be. I mean, if they're taking a primetime slot to do a full show, they've got something.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
I don't care if it's an hour of the Avengers game. If it looks good, bring it on.
And then Bethesda confirmed, so we know Doom Eternal, which I'm super pumped for, because Doom was amazing. You have Wolfenstein, which is actually launching like the following month, July, I think, right?
Yep.
Elder Scrolls 6 and Starfield, those are the ones people want to see.
Well, sure. I want to know what Starfield is.
And
Yeah.
Starfield is confirmed to be coming before Elder Scrolls. So I would think that Starfield would be finally, this a year we finally see
Right.
it and see what's coming.
Can you imagine an Elder Scrolls game basically in space?
Sci-fi,
No,
yeah.
I'm done.
I mean, yeah,
I'm done.
just don't Fallout 76 it.
Well, come on now. Let's not even talk about that game.
Will they even? Here's a bet. We'll have to make this with Bert
episode is
too.
gonna be-
We'll have to make this with Bert. Will they even mention Fallout 76? Will they bring it up as like roadmap with free content to try and win it back, or will they just completely gloss over it?
I mean, if they're smart, they won't talk about it because nobody. I mean, there's like 10 people right now playing, right?
I don't know.
Now they got pay to win stuff in there for microtransactions. I heard. So yeah,
Did they really? I didn't
Yeah,
see that.
I did. It's crazy. I don't know what's happening, Fallout 76. I wanted you to be awesome.
I've got the helmet sitting right to the right of the
That
camera. I
makes
got the
you-
collector's
yeah, I
edition.
don't feel so bad now.
Yeah, I spent a lot. I'm an idiot. All right, but Nintendo, you mentioned them. So Metroid Prime. So what they did last year, they had a really cool booth, one of the best booths, I think. I think Bert and I agreed that Nintendo, well, Microsoft has their own freaking theater. They're just Microsoft. But booth-wise, Nintendo and Ubisoft had the best booths. And so Nintendo had this really cool booth, but they had this treehouse where they actually filmed the live event from was above their booth. Like literally up here, like sitting above it with
Nice.
people up there. And so I don't know if they're going to do something like that this year, but I thought that was really well done. And while I, wanted more information on the other games, because if you remember last year, it was all Smash. It was like a 50-minute thing, but Smash was like half of it.
Yeah,
Which makes sense because Smash.
it's Smash.
But you mentioned Metroid Prime, which I'm obviously pumped for. I know Bird is as well. But they just announced today, I saw it on Switch Reddit, that what's the company doing it? Not Rocksteady, damn it. Retro Studios. They're still hiring for it. I don't think Metroid Prime 4 is
Are
coming.
they, are they hiring for people that can put it into boxes? Because that would be awesome. Or
So-
some cover art people.
and we did see we were talking about fiscal results on the Switch. The official Nintendo document showed Metroid Prime 4. They showed all their titles. That's how we know Luigi's Mansion and Animal Crossing are coming this year. But it was just TBD. So I don't think Metroid Prime we're going to see it. So don't get your hopes up. I could be wrong, of course. But I think we will see what. Obviously, we're going to see more Pokemon. They're gonna bury that one. Luigi's Mansion. We will see Animal Crossing because that's a huge IP as well.
Yep.
But they also mentioned they have games that have not been shown yet that they're going to talk about.
I'm going to say Mario Odyssey 2. That's what they're coming out with next. And a port of something. That's
We're bringing a port, and here's Mario.
Yep. Also Mario
Well,
Odyssey 3.
the thing I really want to see, so we know it's sold extremely well on the Switch, but it's a 3-year-old title now, is maybe 4. I can't remember. No, it's got to be 2016. It's Mario Kart 8.
Yeah.
They ported it with
Yeah.
the deluxe version to the Switch, but I want to see a new Mario Kart. We've had a new Mario Party. That just launched.
Right.
Which wasn't that great, by the way. We've had the Zelda. Oh, we'll see Link's Awakening.
Yeah.
We'll see that for sure.
Yeah, that'd be good.
But where's the true new Mario Kart? It's
Yeah.
time.
It's got to be coming.
Yeah, hopefully next year. I would think.
I mean, I don't know anything about developing games. Nothing. Nothing at all. But it seems like you have a good, basis for what you need from it. It's not like it's changed dramatically over the years. It's basically the same thing. You're running around. Maybe now they add a couple, now you can run around on a motorcycle. or now you can run around on some, different skin. It's all it is. It's not that much.
Oh, you mean like a new Mario Kart?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Mario Kart. Yeah,
the foundation and more's there.
yeah.
The physics are there. I mean,
you wouldn't need a whole bunch. You make maybe 20 more levels. That's quite a bit, actually.
that's
That's
about right.
what they have.
They have a lot.
So maybe 20 more levels, and you or just add it to what you have now. I mean, I don't
Take some characters from Smash,
right?
right? Bring those characters over.
Can't be that difficult to make a new one.
Yeah, but it's Nintendo, and I don't mean to poke. Well, I do mean a little bit, but what they'll do is they'll wait, and then it'll come out, and it'll be like you're saying, it'll be mostly the same foundation with some new things, but it'll be the greatest thing ever developed.
Yes,
that's how they will tell it.
Oh, I mean, for sure that thing's gonna sell as much as Smash has sold already. So it's everybody. That's the ones that everybody buys.
Yeah,
it's those multiplayer games, Smash Brothers. Mario Kart. That's what they want.
And then you get Splatoon. And then you get Splatoon, and then you get Mario and Zelda for the single player. They've just got that forever.
Yeah, I'm telling you, whiskey and cigars, people. I think I'm lying.
But trying to think about what else. So I put on here Rocksteady's title. We finally seeing their DC game, which we've been hearing about for years. You're wearing a Flash shirt, for damn sakes. You're trying to summon it.
Yeah, I'm trying to summon it right now. I'm actually going to run to E3. and
I came back. It's not there.
No, it's not there yet. Yep. Let me go to the bathroom. I'm done. So no, I mean, I'll bring it on, man. I mean, this is the thing. We've heard so much about it. It's been a long time stuff or anything new about the DC game.
So they came out a few months ago.
Is it a Superman one, or is that the one where they said it wasn't a Superman?
That was the early rumor, and they said it's not. So now the rumor is that it's going to be not necessarily Justice League, but a DC game where you play as multiple characters.
Yes. Justice 3.
If Rocksteady is actually bringing that this year, well, maybe not this year, right? But we have a DC game from Rocksteady and Avengers game from Crystal Dynamics.
Yep.
Those could be two huge titles, and Endgame is probably going to break box office records.
It already has. $60 million first night. That's insane. It was something ridiculous. It's the biggest opening night ever. Ever. And I saw it, and it's good. That's all I'm going to say.
I didn't see it, and I won't be seeing it. So.
That's ridiculous. I'm now leaving.
Look, I got myself kicked off the show.
You're gone. I'm kicking Ains off his own creation, his own show. All right, this is craziness.
So
I can't talk about it anymore.
E3.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think.
No, I don't know, man. I don't know what else could possibly be there.
I want to see Cyberpunk, man.
Well, yeah, but aren't they working on something else too? CD Projekt Red has two different things going on.
So they have Gwent, and that's ongoing now, right? They finished.
Nobody cares about Gwent except
Witcher
for you.
Tales. Hey, stop it now.
Yeah.
Yes, they have Cyberpunk, and then they do have another new project working, but they haven't said anything about it.
Maybe we see that.
Yeah, possibly. Who knows?
We'll see it. And Cyberpunk released on the day they talk about it at E3? Yes. Yes, confirmed. I'm from this guy. Confirmed.
I want to. I'm really hoping that, and we already know. I think I said this in a tweet actually, but we already know that Cyberpunk, whenever it comes out, if it comes out prior to next gen, right? We already know it'll work on next gen,
right?
But I'm really hoping that at this point it comes out next year, but they optimize it for whatever Anaconda and PS5, right?
Yeah, that's fine.
So
I have no problem buying things twice. As my record shows, that won't be an issue.
Hell, we might not even need to. It might just
you might just be able to go whoop, and all of a sudden.
Hopefully. So because that game, that's one of those games, like I always say, where I will just disappear for a week because that's all I'm going to do.
Speaking of new hardware, though, we probably will see that on Xbox too. Maybe some new information on the whatever the heck they're doing. With don't tell. I will talk about this because I know nothing, Jon Snow. So I'm hoping to see some new hardware. They just showed the disc of the Xbox. They've talked about the rumors.
Sad.
It was. God damn, it's a piece of shit. I'm not even going to use some kind of acronym or whatever the heck it is.
They could have done better. It's not a bad thing. It's a good idea.
Right.
It just wasn't executed.
They're going the right direction.
But anyway.
But yeah, I want to, because we got the PS5 specs. There are rumors from people that we'll maybe see it at E3. I don't know.
I didn't mention E3.
He didn't say anything. I'm just saying that's what I want to see.
Well, I will say this.
Right.
So
I know nothing.
I will say that we will hear from Microsoft
Sure.
about hardware. We're going to.
Yeah.
They're going to talk about next gen.
Absolutely.
Even Clobriel, who's kind of gotten a reputation for
Right.
insider stuff lately, he actually posted yesterday a edited document,
Yes.
which showed 2 SKUs as expected.
Mhm.
So Scarlet, the code name, which we've heard for a while now, is actually the strategy. It's next gen Xbox is Xbox Scarlet. That's not the console code name.
Mhm.
Console code names are Lockhart and Anaconda,
Right.
as we also knew.
Yeah.
What it showed, all he gave away in his documentation was that they're going to have a SSD NVMe drive.
Yeah, I don't know what NVMe is.
Oh
So-
God, I'm going to forget the acronym.
Well, whatever it is it faster than a standard SSD?
It's faster than SSD.
Okay.
It's basically direct access. It's as fast as you can get without being like in RAM.
Now,
which
the
is instant.
Sony's they just had an SSD drive. They didn't say anything about
They
it.
didn't say NVMe.
Right, but they could have it.
They could. Yeah.
Right, for sure.
But it's expensive.
Sure.
And so that's where the whole conversation around, is PS5 going to be a little more budget? Now, what we saw from Clobriel's document
Mhm.
is that Xbox is going
Prefacing this stuff.
a two
is
SKU,
dumb.
a 2 SKU document, a 2 SKU future where you have a entry level but still next gen console, and then you have the Anaconda, which is the beast, which we've been talking about for a while. Which is really interesting, I think, because what that means, right? We may see a future or next year where you have 3 next gen consoles, because I don't think Sony's doing 2. I think they're doing a PS5.
That's it.
But I think, I think PS5 is going to be $499. I want to be clear.
Yeah.
I don't know.
If I had to guess, I would say probably $500.
Yeah, $499.
Yeah.
So if Xbox is taking the 2 SKU approach, and we know Anaconda is going to be a beast, and I'm guessing that's going to be 600 or more.
That's insane.
But then you have the other next gen console, which could be $400 to $450, right, to undercut the PS5.
That would be a smart idea, but where are we going, right?
I'm going
and
Anaconda all
for
day.
sure. Yeah, we're Anaconda guys. What can we say? So yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean but market or I should say business strategy wise, I would think that'd be a good idea if they're going to do multiple SKUs anyway, which according to that leaked document, they are.
Yeah.
So yeah, just come up a little bit shorter than that. It won't be as powerful. I mean, look, both of them had the SSD. That I saw.
I was kind of surprised based on
it
his stock
shocked
that
the
it
crap
showed
out of
that.
me,
Yeah.
right? And ray tracing, whatever the heck, I still don't know what that is.
Don't have to
I know
worry.
it's some kind of lighting thing, but I don't care about ray tracing. Listen, I've always just wanted to play games, and I want them to look good. I'm a simple man. It's not like I need something.
Where does it play and look best?
Yeah.
But, that's kind of your point. So, based on what we've seen, right, they want to capture, okay, next gen, here's the fresh new thing, but here's the cheapest way to get in.
Yeah.
Then people like us who are going to buy the best, whatever it
Right.
is, right? Or we're going to buy everything.
Yeah.
But, people who want the best hardware from a console perspective, not talking about you max PC $4,000 guys, but the best console, they're going to have that market as well. And then you're going to have like the digital foundries and those outlets that do the comparisons where they're going to be able to say, plays and looks best on Xbox.
Right.
So they're going to capture that as well. But the thing that I find interesting is if PS5 slots in the middle, right?
Mhm.
And people say 600, 650, even 7, I don't know. I'm just speculating if Anaconda, if they really go for it, right?
Mhm.
They really push boundaries.
Go crazy.
Yeah, they go nuts and say, you guys who want the premium, best console ever built,
Yeah.
here it is. Great. Oh, shit, I'd be there. I'd be standing in line at midnight
It
waiting
will
for
take
it.
your kids to school in the morning. That's what it'll do.
But that does give Sony this kind of unique position to say, for people to say, it has PS4 backwards compatibility, and the narrative around the PS4 is a huge thing for people, right? You can bring your God of War, your Horizon. We know Sony produces these great games, and you can play them, and they will run better on day one with the PS5.
Right.
Plus, sure, the PS5 is better than this entry-level Xbox. It's more powerful than that one. Sure, it's not as good as the Anaconda, kind of like the Pro to the X now.
Right.
The X is much better hardware than the Pro. It's not as good, but it's still going to be a huge next level step over the PS4 Pro and Xbox One X, and it's $100 cheaper.
Right.
And I think Sony's still in good shape
Plus, the install base is already huge.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Right. You've got the, like you said, bring all the what you have
and
already.
they can support Bluetooth for their controllers, like we were talking about the Astro and the Scuff, and just bring your accessory PSVR.
Yep.
Bring your PSVR, bring your controllers, bring your AAA games, play it on the new hardware.
If there was a war to win, all right, Sony will win it. All right, I don't think that,
That's a great phrase, actually, because there really isn't a war.
There isn't one, right? But, in the Twitterverse and in social media, there is a war going on, unfortunately. But nobody wins and nobody really loses. That's the thing, right?
All three of them win. They're winning.
They're winning. We're over here. People are like arguing with each other. And Sony's lighting a smoke and then ash it on your face. All right? That's basically what's happening. And so is Xbox.
Sean Layden and Phil Spencer are probably drinking bourbon together right now.
You guys are so dumb. You dumb console owners. I'm going to leave that on there. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be good for us, regardless of what it is.
Yeah.
I'm curious if the new, the lower version, right, the Lockhart, will even have a disk drive. Will they completely wipe that out, right? So that's interesting to me.
Because then you can bring the price down too.
Do you have another one that you're not even talking about? Same thing, $50 less, no disk drive. Like they're doing, the 3 of them, plus the new one.
Plus the new one, plus the X is still out there, remember?
Right.
So that was actually a question I posed to someone last week.
What's happening? No, I'm blowing myself away.
Where does the X fall? Because the X is still a 6 teraflop machine. It's still a very capable box.
Right. Is that going to be the new S?
Yeah. So does that mean Lockhart entry level is going to be an 8 or 9 teraflop box? And then the Anaconda is going to be
those games on. That's a software issue, I would think.
What?
Like, what if the Xbox One X is just their low end?
Oh, exactly.
Entry level deal.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So bring that down to the $299 box.
Right.
Lockhart's $450, and then Anaconda's.
We've got 32 SKUs at this point.
That's what's confusing. Yeah. So
no idea.
They're gonna have
to be awesome.
It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
But we follow and know this stuff.
Yeah.
For the average consumer, right? The messaging around Xbox One when it launched was horrific.
Yeah.
And I think they're past that point now.
For sure.
But someone just walking into a store, you got to be careful having 4 and 5 SKUs.
Yeah.
They don't know what they're doing.
For sure.
So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they do that.
I'm ready for it, man.
And we'll be in front row.
Yeah, there's going to be so much stuff. You're going to Periscope the whole thing, and I'm going to be just talking. Yeah, I'm not watching it on
a lot
Mixer.
of people do that.
They have to for the site.
They have their surfaces, right? So they're just live blogging it.
Yeah.
But I'm too into invest. I'm not going to be typing to you gues. You guys can wait till it's finished. Then I'll tell you.
Yeah, we'll just get a GoPro and strap it on your head. Bert probably got 15 of them. I'm sure of it.
The best part...
Just have like a wire plugged into his phone somehow through USB-C where he's just streaming.
And his phone just hooks up like Predator on his shoulder.
And it's got like that automated, where it motion senses.
It follows.
There's like 3 little dots on Phil Spencer's head.
Just follows him around.
We're losing our shit here, people.
Yeah, we've been recording for a while this evening already.
What do we got coming up? I'm so red right now. I can feel it in my face.
So, if you couldn't tell by the giddiness here, we're a little excited for E3.
Yeah,
new hardware, new games, favorite time of the year. We talk about that all the time. So, for the guy saying E3 is dying, it's not dying.
No.
Stop it. And honestly, I think Sony may be back next year, depending on how the direction goes, because next year is going to be the PS5 year.
Yeah.
All new IPs we haven't seen yet, so who knows. But anyway, we will talk a lot more about E3 in the coming month as we ramp up to it. Believe it or not, it's only 6 weeks away. It's
Crazy.
not long. And we're actually going out, EA Play starts actually the weekend prior, so it's not far now. But anyway, let's go ahead and wrap up this episode. We will bring Bert back next week and get back to it. But you did a video on the Astro C40, right?
C40 controller.
Yeah, so that we've been talking about for a little while, but you've now had some time with it.
It is. Well, you need to watch the video.
Yeah.
Hey,
don't give it all away.
Yeah. It's a very solid controller at a very questionable price. But I explain all that in the video. So hopefully it'll be out soon. We will see.
Yep. So working on that. We're actually also going to do a comparison. We know people are really curious about these aftermarket, especially with as expensive as they are, controllers for the PS4. We've done it, with the Xbox One. So we have the Astro, the Scuff, and the Nacon all together. And Dan and I are going to do a kind of duo video like this where we talk about all 3 of them. So you can find my Nacon review on our channel. You can find my Scuff review on the channel. Astro reviews coming, and then we're actually going to compare all three and give you our opinions on it. So that'll be coming in the future too. And then a couple articles coming up. I'm working on a bit about the state of Xbox. Not just the console, not just E3, not basic stuff, but really the whole direction of the brand and the company, the division within Microsoft. A really kind of in-depth article there. So that's starting, and that'll take a little while, so that won't be out for a bit. I know Bert's working on something as well. So just look for some new kind of exclusive content.
What?
From us. But for now, this has been fun.
Yeah. Now we just need Bert to move to Kansas.
Yeah, so...
And we'll be good to go. I see a house over there. It says for sale on it. I don't. I'm lying, but there's probably
one
around here.
There is one right over there for sale.
Well,
I sent it to him.
All right, Bert.
It's a little pricey.
As you're watching this, make sure you are looking into the real estate. We've got the best agent in town.
Yes. So for our viewers and listeners, send Bert a note, leave us a comment, let him know he needs to move up to Kansas City so we can do this in person, and it'll be a whole lot better.
Yeah, I might buy him a bigger table.
So for now, thanks. It's episode 55 of the Bitcast, and we will talk to you next week.